Hello everyone, thank you for stopping by. In this video, I'll be showing you another method to achieve a Senegalese Zara cap. I was supposed to post this video since Thursday last week like I promised, but something came up. But better late than never, right? So sorry about that. I used 1 yard of satin fabric to make it. Let's get right into it. For this Senegalese Zara cap, I will be making use of a band. So I will first make my band. The measurement of my marco is 2 3/4 inches. You can see 2 3/4 inches by 18 inches. Okay, so next I'll wrap my measuring tape round it like this. You can see. So what I have is 6 inches. I will be adding 1 inch sewing allowance. Okay, so I'll be cutting out 7 inches by 28 inches. I already have it here, 7 inches by 28 inches. So to make your own band, any measurement you get when you wrap your measuring tape round your marco like this, add sewing allowance, cut that measurement by 28 inches. Okay, so next I'll be folding in the two sides. Okay, I'll fold it twice. I'll fold in half an inch twice. I'll fold one and fold two and take to my sewing machine and sew. I'll repeat the same thing for this side. This is it after folding in the two sides twice. Next I'll turn to the right side. Okay, then I'll fold like this and I'll take to my sewing machine and I'll be sewing the allowance. I added 1 inch, so I'll be sewing half an inch since it's on fold. This is it after sewing. Next I'll turn it inside out. This is it. Next I'll insert my marco inside it. Okay, this is it. You can place the sewn part at the middle. Okay, but I want mine to be at the top. You can place it at the middle or at the top here. So I want mine here. Ensure that your marco is at the middle. Okay, that means you should have the same measurement of excess fabric at the both sides. Next I'll cut out my elastic band and the measurement is 5.5 inches. I'm using a 2 inches height. You can use 1 inch. Next I'll fold in half and I'll cut it. I'll bond the two sides. Okay, next, determine the side you want to be the front part. I want it to be the front part, so I'll turn to the back like this. You can see. I'll be attaching my elastic band on top of the marco. I'll be placing it inside on top of the marco. And I'll be placing it down here, okay? Not at the middle. I will not be placing it at the middle. I'll be bringing it down here. So I'll insert it on top of the marco. Half inch should be on top of the marco. You can see I'll bring it down. Okay, I'll hold with pin. Then I'll take to the sewing machine. I will sew right after the marco. I will sew multiple times, like 2 times or 3 times, so that it will hold the elastic better. I'll be repeating the same thing on this side with this elastic. Okay, this is it after sewing it. You can see. So next I'll pull out the elastic band. Just shift the fabric. Okay, just shift it. You don't need to stretch the elastic. Next I'll hold with pin. I'll take to the sewing machine and I'll sew. I'll repeat the same thing on this side. This is it after sewing it. You can see. So next, this is the right side facing me. I'll place like this and I'll take to my sewing machine and I'll sew. This is it after sewing it. Next I'll turn to the right side. Okay, this is it. after making it. Okay, next I will set aside to work on the second part. For the second part, I cut out 40 inches by 30 inches. Okay, next I will be folding. This is the right side facing me. I will fold towards the 40 inches part, you can see. Then I'll take to my sewing machine. I will sew. Okay, this is it after sewing it. Next I will turn it inside out. If you noticed, I placed the sewn part at the top. Please don't do that. It will make it bulky when attaching it to your band. Instead, bring it down to 2 or 3 inches from that top. Okay, next I'll take to my sewing machine. I'll fold in half an inch. I'll fold in half an inch and sew. I'll repeat the same thing here. This is it after folding in half an inch on both sides. Next, I'll cut out my crinoline. When you want to measure your crinoline, don't pull, okay? So you can see how I'm measuring it. I'll cut it out. I'll measure out 40 inches and cut out. Okay, next I'll thread my needle. Okay, next I'll gather it. I'll be gathering this 40 inches to 28.5 inches. Okay, so I'll start from 1 inch. Okay, just watch what I'm doing. Then I'll start gathering. I'll first make a running stitch from this 1 inch from the edge to the 1 inch from the edge on this side. Okay, when I get to 1 inch before the end, I will pull. I'll carefully arrange my gather. As I pull, I'll measure till I have 28.5 inches. I'm still holding on to, you can see I pulled and I held on to my thread and the crinoline together. Okay, so I will measure. Okay, it's almost there, so I'll just pull a little. You can see I have it. So next I'll just knot it there. I'm still holding on to it so it doesn't snap. You can see, so I'll just knot it. Okay, next I'll arrange my gathers evenly. Next I'll get this 13 inches. Okay, this is the 13 inches. 30 inches is the head circumference. I'll be placing my crinoline. I'll bring it down by 1/4 inch and I'll overlap by 1/4 inch too. Then I'll take to my sewing machine. I'll sew till I get to the end. Okay, this is it after joining them together. You can see 1/4 inch. I brought out 1/4 inch of my fabric on the both sides. Okay, next I'll place like this. I'll place this my crinoline on a straight line. You can see how I'm placing it. Then I'll fold like this. Okay, making sure that my fabric is fitted to my crinoline. I'll push in the crinoline. You can see the way I placed it. Then I'll take to my sewing machine and I will be sewing from the beginning. I'll come down here. I'll be stopping at 1/4 inch before the end here. This is it after sewing it. You can see I stopped at 1/4 inch before the end here. Before I forget, you see what I was highlighting earlier? I'm just noticing it now and I don't want to come and start loosening all these things. So just take note. Okay, this sewn part here, you should bring it towards the back. Here should be the back. When we are done, here will be the front. Okay, so you should bring it in towards 2 inches or 3 inches, okay, from this edge before folding in the two sides. Okay, next from this edge here I will mark 11 inches. and I'll insert a pin there. 11 inches, you can see. Okay, I'll insert a pin there. Then next, I'll fold it like this. Then you can see what I'm doing. Place it like this. Then this folding, you can see this part. Okay, I will pin it down. I will make sure it does not pass here. You can see here, this first one, it should not pass it. I will just place it, okay, close to it, but let it not pass it. I will pin there down. As I'm pinning, I will make sure my pin does not come out at the front here. Okay, next I will hold here with pin for now. I will be removing it later, just to keep it in place. Then next, I will continue to follow this folding. You can see at a point it will get tighter, as in the crinoline will be folding, but that is what will give it that puffed out look later. Okay, so I'll continue to follow the folding till I get to where I inserted the pin. Okay, so I'll continue to follow the folding. As I'm picking, I'll make sure that, okay, this thing, even this side is folded in well, that I'm picking the two fabric. You can see these two fabric under here. I'll make sure that I'm picking them. Okay, this is it. Next, I'll sew them together with my needle and thread. You can see how I'm sewing. The thread is not showing here. Okay, I will sew till I get to the end here. When I get to the end, I will knot my thread. Okay, this is it. You can remove the pin. Okay, when you open here, this is what you should have, okay, behind. Okay, so next, from this same edge, okay, I will measure 15 inches, and I will pick up that, you can see that 15 inches, I will pick it up. You can see half an inch. I'll be plating that half an inch. I'll fold it like this. You can see what I did. You can see the way I'm facing the plate. Okay, face it to the opposite direction. I later corrected it. Okay, that is, instead of the right, face it to the left. I'll sew. Okay, I will knot my thread. Then next, from that plate, I will measure 2 inches and I will plate it again. You can see I'll measure 2 inches. I'll pick up the 2 inches and I'll be folding. I'll be plating half an inch. You can see what I'm doing. Then I will sew. Then I'll make the last one again. From this plate, I will measure 2 inches and I will plate it like I did these two. Okay, this is it after sewing the third one. Next, I will get my band. First, I'll be marking where I want to attach this to. I want to attach it at 1.5 inch, so I'll be marking there. Yours can be at 2 inches or at 1 inch, depending on your choice. Okay, I want mine to be at 1.5 inch, so I will mark there. I will continue marking 1.5 inch till I get to the end of the marco. So next is to attach, to sew them together. Okay, so for this part, I want to start from one. I will be marking 1.5 inch. Okay, I will just insert my needle there. So I will mark 1.5 inch by inserting a needle there from the edge. This is 1.5. Okay, on that mark, I'll be placing it where my mark will start. Okay, you can see I'll place it there. Okay, next is to sew them together. I'll be making an invisible stitch, so I'll start sewing. Okay, I'll be sewing, you see this first part down here, I'll be sewing it to my band. Okay, this first part, you just watch what I'm doing. I'll first bring out my needle. You can see what I'm doing. Okay, I will pick the band. I have shown how to make an invisible stitch many times on my channel. I'll pick my Zara band, then I'll pick this part, then back to my Zara band. I'll continue like that. You can see what I'm doing. Okay, then I'll go back to my Zara band, then back to this part. I'll be doing that off camera. You can see I'll continue sewing till I get to the end. Okay, when I get to the end, I'll knot my thread. This is it. Next, I'll come to the back here. You can see here, I'll be tacking it. I'll be tacking them together. Okay, as I'm tacking, I'll be stretching out my fabric. Okay, I will not be sewing on the elastic because I want it to still stretch when I'm done. Okay, so I will just tack here. I'll continue tacking this till I get to the middle. You can see what I'm doing. This part on this side, I'll tack it. I'll sew it till I get to the middle here. So I'll sew. I will first pull out my fabric to be sure nothing is hidden here. You can see I'll straighten out my fabric, then I'll place this on it and I'll sew. I'll start sewing them together. You can see what I'm doing. As I sew, I'm stretching out my fabric and I'll make sure that I am not sewing on the elastic. Okay. Okay, I'll stop at the middle. You can see at middle at the back. So when I get there, I'll knot it. Okay, still stretches. Okay, so I'll come over to this side. Just watch what I'm doing. You can see here, I'll straighten it out. I'll pull it because I'll be tacking it at the back just like I did here. Just here, you can see what I'm doing, like this. I'll tighten it. I'll be tacking it. You can see what I'm doing. You can see. So I'll tack it like I did here till I get to the middle too. As I'm tacking, I'm stretching out this place where elastic is. Okay. Okay, when I get to the middle, I will knot. Okay, so next I'll come to the front like this. Okay, you can see here I will bring out the top forward. Okay, then I'll come to the middle. I'll be slanting. Okay, I'll slant the crinoline with the fabric. Okay, then I'll try to straighten out the fabric. You can see where my crinoline is. Okay, you can see the excess fabric. Then I'll fold in the excess fabric, okay, to fit the crinoline. Okay, I'll fold it in, making sure here is smooth. Okay, then I'll fold in the excess fabric. I'll bring it to the middle. You can see what I'm doing. I'll bring it to the middle at the back. You can see the sewn part of the band at the back. I'll be tacking it there. I'll tack it to the middle. You can see the way I placed it, okay? So I'll tack it. I think I will knot it here. So next, I'll come here. You see the one on this side, I will twist it, taking the crinoline part to this side, and this one will be on this side, okay? Just watch what I'm doing. This sewn part, I'm folding it inside. You can see. So I'll twist it, okay? I'll bring it towards this side. You can see what I'm doing. Then I'll sew. I'll be sewing it to this fabric and the crinoline. I won't be sewing it to the elastic, okay? So I'll sew them. When I get around here, I will just curve it here, okay? I'll just tack it. Then I'll tack it to the middle. You can see I've gotten to the middle at the back where the elastic is. The other parts we are sewn just on the crinoline and this fabric, okay? Just this one that I'm sewing to the middle at the back. Okay, around here you just be creative about it. The main thing is just to cover the rough edges, okay, and to make here look clean. That's what is needed here, okay? Okay, next I'll come here. You can see this crinoline. I'll just squeeze it inside and sew it to the middle too, okay? You can see the way I folded it inside, okay, and I'll tack it to the middle. Okay, when I'm satisfied, I will knot it. Okay, next, you see here, I need to tack it so that it will be flat. So I'll pull out where the elastic at the top here. Okay, I'll be tacking it here so that it will stay in place. I'll shift out my fabric and see what I'm doing. Then I'll tack it. I'll make sure I don't tack it with the elastic. I'll shift down the elastic. I'm just tacking the fabric and this band here with the crinoline. Okay, next is to just plait this excess fabric and use it to cover here. So I will just, you can see, I will plait it. You can see. Then I will use it and cover here. You can see what I did. Okay, I will continue plaiting the rest and use it to cover here, okay? So I'll continue plaiting. Okay, I'll just fold in the remaining parts. Just to continue tacking, and as you are tacking, try and keep your thread hidden. The only part I'll be tacking to the band is just at the middle area, okay? where the two elastics we are joined together. That's the only part I will be tacking to the band. Okay, when I'm satisfied, I'll just knot it here. When I'm done, I'll knot my thread. Okay, I think I'm okay with how it looks. Okay, so okay, for this part I'll be covering it with a rose. Okay, you can cover it with ruffle or any design you want. Okay, for the rose part, I have already shown a detailed video on how to make a fabric rose. Okay, I have 6 inches by the length of my fabric. I have made my rose. I already have a detailed video on how to make a fabric rose. I will be leaving the link in the description box. Okay, if you are interested in learning how to make it. Next, I will be placing the rose like this. Okay, okay, when I'm okay, I'll knot my thread. Okay, this is it. If there is any excess fabric here, just push it in and tack it inside here. Okay, this is it. You can even take it up like this. Okay, don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, see you in my next video. Thank you for viewing.